Hello. Hello, welcome. I'm gonna wait a couple of seconds while I shake my vodka and let people get settled a little. Hello, welcome. Welcome to Get Sauced. I'm Rob Ruggiero, the producing artistic director, and I'm so happy to see you all joining. Oh, Tina Fabrique, I love you, Tina. Okay, I'm having my old standby because I need an old friend today. Kettle One, cucumber mint. I always highly recommend it. Nice and shaken. So, happy summer, happy July, welcome. Hey T, Tanisha's here. All right, welcome back to my kitchen. This is episode 21, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. So I keep thinking, should we do this? But when the month rolls around and we get to speak to some of these incredible people, I'm like, yeah, it's cool being in my kitchen, having some really great theater conversation. Tonight, joining me are two guests, the director and the playwright of our upcoming production of Walden. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about each one of them. And then, get this, they're both coming on at the same time. So we're going to try something new on Instagram Live, which is two guests at the same time. So I think they're actually, though, on the same screen, but it's still going to be cool. Our director, our fabulous director, is a queer immigrant from Singapore. Their practice of theater and filmmaking stands at the intersection of art, civics, and contemplative form. I mean, I think they're a real innovator. They were noted as American Theater Magazine's Theater Workers to Watch, and they are a recipient of the 2021 League of Professional Theater Women's Award. Their work has been described as, quote, I'm going to read this, truly polished, meaningful, and entertaining by the New York Times. And I can't wait for you to meet them. Our second guest is the playwright of Walden. She recently returned from London after premiering Walden to the West End as part of the Sonia Friedman's Re-Emerge season. Yes, yes, yes. It was called, quote, a triumph, a compelling drama, astutely written, and at a time where it matters most. Her work has graced the stages across the U.S., including People's Light, City Theater, Portland Stage, and many more. And I'm going to press the button. Mayan Tao, our director, and Amy Berryman, the playwright, and fingers crossed that they're going to show up. Hey!
Hi! Hello!
Hello, you fabulous people, you.
Offices.
Where are you?
We're in the conference room.
Oh, show it around. It's so beautiful.
Okay, wait, how do I?
Oh, the mural's behind you.
The girl.
Oh, you got that beautiful mural behind you. Well, welcome.
Yes.
There it is. Yes.
Yay!
And you have beautiful sunlight. And you're in air conditioning, which we'll get to, which is probably really good.
Yes, we're very happy about that at the moment. Yes.
So we're going to get into it, but real quickly, we always start with a how are you? And I would say, welcome to Hartford and the TheaterWorks fam. But personally, how are you? How are you enjoying Hartford? And how are you enjoying your housing?
Oh yeah, that's the question. We're great. I'm great. I'll just speak for myself. I'm great. I feel so lucky to just be in the room with these incredible artists. And, you know, Hartford, we're finding some great food in Hartford, thanks to our cast.
Fantastic food.
Yes. And loving the housing, really loving the housing. There's like a different communal space on every floor. There's a roof. It's all very like state of the art. We're loving. I'm loving.
We should say you're at Spectra on
Yeah,
Spectra on
Spectra
Pearl. Yeah. So I'm really glad you like it. That's new housing for us post-pandemic. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. How are you, Mayanne?
I'm doing so good. I'm going to speak a little bit more on the food, okay?
All
So
right.
we have real foodies in our group. I would say all of us have really good palates of like, we love it all. And right around here, there's some like really delicious, like everything, great deals and all that. But just a little ways away, we found the Parkville Market.
So
And
good.
like legit Puerto Rican food, like legit, like so good, so good, so good.
So good.
And we found this incredible place, and we know our cast has 2 Korean American femmes in the cast, and one of them, Diana Oh, said like, this is better than Koreatown in New York.
Wow.
Really,
it was so good. It was
they were like, this is one of my favorite restaurants in America.
so.
Wow.
So I've heard that a lot.
Soul barbecue.
Yeah,
Soul
yeah.
barbecue. And
I think it's
sushi.
called Soul Barbecue and Sushi. Yeah, that's what it's called.
So
Wow.
food is nourishing me. This, like, all of that, we're having the best time ever.
We're having the best time, even though we're also watching the actors like giving us everything and all of their feelings and emotions, and we're sitting there like, yay! Like, so we're very happy, even though, you know.
We're really happy
the
you're
dark
happy.
places.
And also that what a way with your amazing play and Mayanne's amazing conception, I guess, and direction to kick off in-person performances. And we're not going into the theater, we're going outside into, like, I guess the wilderness, but it's underdeveloped property. So it's city wilderness, but so before we talk about the obstacles and the opportunities of that, but what was it like to come back to the room, to being with other artists, to creating, doing plays, seeing your play produced twice in like 2 amazingly different ways? And Mayanne, you've been working, but back with actors. So who wants to go first? What's it like being back in the room?
This is both of our second time back in person, right? You know, I don't know. It all feels just so miraculous and amazing. It's hard to like even talk about it. It just feels so wonderful to be getting to be together in a space, get to feel a little more free with each other and making this like story. I don't know. I'm sort of at a loss for. I kind of can't believe it when you say like produced twice, and it's thinking about just like the year that we've been through, and just there were times that I didn't know what was going to happen with theater, and to come back on this side of the ocean with Mayanne and this specific group of people and everyone at TheaterWorks Hartford, it's just felt so. It's felt really alive and open and in like a new way. It feels really good. I guess.
Good. Yeah. We're all,
say.
I think a lot of artists are feeling grateful. How about you, Mayanne? Like, yeah.
So before I came, the whole week before, probably the whole month before, I was like, we're about to be in a room with actors working on a play. And I literally was like waking up at night going, I've missed playing this game. I've missed doing this improv. You know what I mean? Like, it was all like, it was like I was pulling back 25 years of theater making, of going like, what was my favorite thing that I've missed?
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
And so it was so great to be in there. And then I asked them, I'm like, what's your favorite thing that you've missed about being in the room together? What are the things that you're like, let's do this now? Because, you know, we're coming also at a time of reckoning, of lots of different kinds of reckoning, of like Me Too movement, Black Lives Matter. There's just so much that our industry is like saying, like, do we have to continue doing that? Like, do we have to? And I just felt like this was a chance to like, we can do this the way we want to do this now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it was so yummy because it was like, oh, let's do it like this. Oh, let's do it. Let's have this. Let's have this. And I just feel like you know, it was, you can tell that they were like, wow, can I walk and talk? Like, can I walk and talk right now? And they can.
Well,
They
there's
can
a
be
lot
so.
of firsts, right? Like firsts that you appreciate, that you had taken for granted or not even paid attention to. But I just want to, before we leave it, you're like that idea of like how we can look at things and ask, how do we want to do this now? You know, as we're shaping our own next season, like we're like, there's a whole like, right, a whole value in making theater that it's like, you don't make a lot of money and you work really hard, and that's part of the fabric of it, that we're going to work 10 out of 12s all the time and have one day off, and that is our thing, and it's like a vocation. And I think we are exploring ways to maybe, yes, there's some financial consequence to it, but the human benefits of it, you know, are deserve it. And so we've only done a many 5-week rehearsal days. Like in the theater pre-pandemic, that's unheard of. And you're like, if you don't work those 6 days, the work's not going to get done. But then you're like, those actors have to go home after rehearsal as
Yeah.
directors, but they have to learn their lines and
Mm-hmm.
process what they did at rehearsal. And then, you know, you can't just do that before rehearsal and after rehearsal 6 days a week. And then you want to just sleep the 7th day. Um, do you,
Yeah.
I mean, right? I think it's been a real gift. I don't know what the question is there, but how has that changed, I guess? Has that changed how it feels and how you're progressing?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel it. I feel the difference. It feels so, you know, it feels humane to have the weekend, which in the American theater we just haven't had, you know, and also I feel like Man has created a room where we can all really ask for what we need, things that we need. And TheaterWorks Hartford is also, you've been so receptive, and it's felt like a real joy to collaborate. And I think that starts with like, yep, you get weekends off, you know. So I think that
Yeah.
has been really, really great.
I mean, that's a good moment maybe to, and maybe Mayan, you can talk a little bit about this, shine a light on the amazing cast and the staff of TheaterWorks Hartford, you know, who have been working a lot outside in managing heat and night and bugs and torrential rain, and, you know, balancing rehearsal room and shop with mostly outside. I mean, the collaborations between the designers, all the creative team, like going on this adventure that is really hard some days, yet the idea of what might happen is so exciting to, I hope, everyone. Do you want to comment on that, like essence of
Yeah.
that adventure? Have you ever done this?
I mean, I've done some outdoor work before, but what's so unique and beautiful is the way in which it's sort of straddling both theater and film in a very unique way. And so, you know, the actors are asked to both be very present in the theater sense because they're going to be in front of an audience, but because they're mic'd and they'll be heard in the ears, the way they use their voices, the way they use their bodies is going to be taken in a very filmic, cinematic sense. So it's this beautiful like flow of both of those things that's extraordinary to watch them navigate. And yesterday I would say that, you know, we were in 90-degree heat. Like it was like, whoa, here we go. And we've also been there.
Heroic actors.
Heroic. And then we'll be sitting there and then they'll start to rain and it'll be like, whoa, here we go inside. And also we have the magnificence of the lightning. And, you know, it's so beautiful. It's so strange because we always think of like
beautiful
the sound, but there's no sound. It's just the lightning. And the entire like world, like the light flashes in this way, and you just realize like, wow, the magnificence of being under the sky, the magnificence of being in this incredible environment. We spoke a lot today in the room about how we are, like, we understand because, you know, there are a lot of bugs. And the way in which those bugs are like, this is their land, that we are actually the guests. And like, how do we like move from an animosity of like, oh, you're gonna bite me, to like, how do we actually like be with the earth? We really talked about that because of the way in which you know, we're starting to understand like who the partners are, you know. So I want to say today, actually, we went on an incredible journey that I feel really was like powerful to the room.
Yeah.
We went to see Herb, who runs the co-op, the sustainability co-op, where he grows all of these food with students, and then they put it back into the school system. And so it's amazing. And he's where the chickens are going to come from. He's the one who built the garden for us that we're going to see. And he had such a beautiful sense of understanding, so like beyond what I usually encounter, of like what it means to grow something. And I remember I asked him, I said, soil or water, because he had hydroponics and he had soil or water. He's like, soil. That's how the creator did it. And I was like, oh yes, that is how the creator made it. Okay. Okay. So I was like, how'd you know you were a farmer? And he was like, you know, someone just was growing some stuff here and we gave it away. And then it felt so good to give it away that energy kept increasing and returning. So like more things were like, you know, he said the seeds go in the ground and then the ground and everything happens. It's such a beautiful sense of not like,
Wow.
I made this, I grew this. It was like, it grew.
Well, you know, so the people who don't know, what we're doing, Amy, your play takes place in a kind of homestead, I guess I'd call it, like women, a couple that live off of the land. I mean, right? That live simply, that try to be self-sustaining. Takes place in this kind of cabin in the woods with, you know, by the river. And so we decided to live it out there. And of course, there's also theatrical elements that come in, but we're bringing this smaller audience to this world. And I think people need to understand that this world has, when they see it, it's been created, designed by creatives and built by staff and partners. Herb's amazing. And our partners at Riverfront Recapture, Mike and his team, like opened up their land to us and like are sharing that. And all of this is born out of your play. So if we didn't know if we could be inside when we made this decision. Right. And we're like, well, let's do it outside. I love, Mayanne, that you call it a 3D movie, but to me, it's like, it's immersive. You are in the world of the actors, with the actors, but you chose to make a sound choice that's on headsets, which is more of a cinematic, intimate choice.
And it's so nice it's just so nice, that choice for the play, because it is so intimate. And so then we get to be really with them, even though we're physically far, we get to be so close to the experience that they're having. And I think it's sort of unlike anything I have seen. So I'm really, really excited about it.
Yeah. And yeah, Mayanne, do you want to add anything to that? Like, to creating that, you call it you've been saying a bunch of times, a 3D movie, because you're a filmmaker and a theater maker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love how both theater and film have a way of like controlling perspective for us to see deeper into something, you know? So like, you know, when you're seeing a film and you like really hear the pouring of a glass and then like the drinking and like the swallowing, it just gets you inside the psyche in a completely different way that we don't usually get in theater, because like you're 20 feet away and you sort of have to project. And I kept thinking about these really intimate conversations and how it felt. What does it mean to whisper it? Mm-hmm. And what does that mean? Versus like, if I'm trying to
whisper.
Shakespeare in the Park, but Walden, you know.
And I just longed for that. I longed for these sisters. Like, how much more intimate can you get in terms of a familial relationship than twins? Yeah. And the massive distance between them that they have to sort of like come together with. Mm-hmm. And what if we had that kind of like that intimacy with, you know, the voice in the ear, and like, how about that? And, you know, you had also posed the questions of like, who are the people? Like, oh my God, this cast, we have Diana O, we have Gina Yee, and we have Gabe Brown. All of these are phenomenal humans and artists that they just bring so much to to the work in such extraordinary ways.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's all of their first times back in a room, which has been really amazing to, you know, go through with them.
We're also, I think, happier, and and also, broken, happier, excited, and finding it's like rebirthing ourselves. I don't know if that sounds melodramatic, but it is kind of.
Feels real.
To me, the play, right? I just want to say, I don't want to give too much away, and I want to ask you both if you want to say something about it. But what drew me to the play was not the idea of this. Drew me to the play was ultimately there's two things that it story-wise and humanity-wise, it really addresses the reconciliation, right, of these two sisters, which is like at one core of it. But I also love that this production is also leaning into our connection as humans to the world we live in. Have I missed anything? Like, what to you is, you're the playwright, but like, what do you think, what excites you both about the play and the story? Oh, and why did you write it? I guess let's go there too.
Why did I write it? Well, I wrote it I started writing it in 2016. So it's kind of had a long journey developing, changing, growing. And it was interesting because like the pandemic, it's a world that can kind of hold what's happened in the pandemic and like kind of makes you think about, hear it differently, think about it differently. I think like themes of loneliness and isolation, that we're all connected, returning to the earth, like all of those things kind of jump out more than they did even. Also, there's a lot happening in the news that is feeling very much like the play, which is fascinating. But really what we've been talking about in the room has been a lot of the idea of returning to the earth, you know, getting to actually physically see these bodies out in nature, living this way, which is like a quote, you know, from the play, like getting to experience that has been really powerful. And yeah, we've also been talking a lot about like mental health and how we relate to each other and what are the journeys of these characters. What else do you want to say about it?
I mean, what I love about this play is that every day you ask me, I could have like 3 different things that I'm like thinking about now.
Wow.
Right? And it's like different because it's that rich. And today I think I'm sitting with right now is like, how do we deal with our broken dreams?
Yeah.
Like, how do we actually wrestle with it? What does it, what creates the person who can like move on, and what happens in a person who can't, and what bitterness, and then who do they take it out on, and then how, you know, like, how do we like heal that? How do we heal that? And I was talking about like how, you know, one of the things, like I decided when I was 21, I would live a life of no regrets. Right. And I was like, you know, one of my professors was like, well, you're 21, you have nothing to regret. You know? and like, yes, you're right. You are right. You are right. But in my commitment to that, what I found was very helpful was I will not be bound by my 15-year-old dreams. I allow myself to like shift my dreams and let it grow depending on who I am. You know, like when I was 15, I wanted to be an astronaut. You know what I mean?
It's really, yeah.
I want to be an astronaut.
Well,
yesterday,
because if you,
I want to be an astronaut, and he's like, we're not going to be astronauts.
but sometimes if you hold on to an old dream, and you're making me, this is like, think about it, and you don't let it evolve, that it also can attach failure to it, because you're like, well, I didn't do this, but maybe that's not what you want anymore, right?
Yeah.
But man, what inspired you to want to direct the play besides the obvious, like to do a play like where you have real stars and real water and real trees and real bugs around you? But is there anything else?
We didn't know that at first. Like I had no idea that you all would be able to do that.
Yeah.
Right. We were talking about a completely different thing. And I remember that when I read the play, and I don't usually do plays that like name that there's a couch. Right. So like there's just, this is not like, you know, like I don't usually do plays that have couches in them. I just don't. It's not, that is not sort of my, you know, so when our agent actually gave me the play, I was like, there's a couch in it. That's interesting. Oh, people are talking. And then I couldn't put it down. And then by the time I got to act 4, I'm weeping. Like I'm weeping. I remember exactly where I was in my bed. I remember that it was 3 a.m. in the morning because that was the only time I had to read it.
Oh my
Okay?
God.
I was weeping in my bed at 3 a.m. with a play that has a couch in it. Although we do other things that have couches. Okay, we do other things on the couch. And I remember I looked at my partner and I was like, I really want to direct this play. Because it moved me so much.
Wow.
I have a sister. Our dynamic is not exactly the same, but that's what I love. Okay, this is what I love about the play. What we're finding in the room is that I'm like, with this issue, I was Cassie. With this moment, I was Stella. With this moment, I was Brian. And it's got such richness in it that I feel like I can identify with every single one of them in a very deep way, depending on like the moment and where I was in my life. So like really, that's what it was. You made me cry.
Oh, I'm love
so
that
evil. I like him smiling. She was crying.
You both have bonded, and yet your energies and your essences are so different, but you seem so connected now. And did you know each other before this?
No, and we only met on Zoom. But I actually I felt so connected to Mayana from our first Zoom call that like. I mean, as you know, you said this about our agent Alex saying like, you know, Mayan is a future thinker, and that is right. Like it just felt like all the conversations that we fell into about the play and about life felt very much in line with each other. It felt in line with the vision of the play and what does the future look like, and who creates the future. And so, yeah, it's been very, very fun, and I'm happy so far.
That's so. It's so nice to hear, and I just want to circle back to Mayan, what you said about like, right, we've directed a lot of plays, and you always want that play that you love more and more as you work on it, instead of that play that you fall out of love with more and more as you work on it. And I mean, just because you said all that, it's clear that this play is that for you, and as director to director, what a gift. And so thanks, Amy.
What a gift. Like literally we leave and I'm like, oh my God, that scene, fuck, wow. Sorry. Yeah, wow. You know what I mean?
You can say it.
It really is. And I think what's even greater for me is that the actors feel that way too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I can't, you
feel them like continue to discover new layers of it, which also feels really rewarding, obviously, as a writer.
Yeah, because they're gonna have to perform it. You know, like we directors, we leave, we like do the thing and then we leave. Those actors love it so much that you can see them finding so much more. And I know that I'm gonna like go away, I'm gonna come back, and they would have found even more because that's how rich it is.
Yeah. And that's really what we try to do, right? Is create the relationships, anchor the relationships, create a structure to which they can live in. And it's the most rewarding thing, I think, for a director to, you don't want to come back and see it like become something that it wasn't. That's bad. But when you plant the seeds, to use a metaphor of the show, when you plant the seeds and create those seedlings and get the plants going, and that garden is definitely on the path. And then you come back and it's all grown in and beautiful. It's so exciting. And I can't wait to see how this is going to come out. Because none of us know, but we know that it's been built with love and innovation and imagination and bravery, which are all good things. So
there's that joke of like, directors to say like, I'm gonna come back and take out the improvements.
Yes.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. And I feel really strongly that this cast like will continue to deepen it.
Yes.
You know, like I can't wait to come and see the improvements.
I know, me too.
So before we go to game time, because you're on Get Sauce, we always go to game time. It's a little fun game with you both. So speaking to our viewers, why do I want to come see Walden outside in some heat with some bugs and see this play in this world, the way we're doing it? Why do I want to come? Because I'm dying to come, but I want each of you to answer that for me.
I mean, I think you should come because, like I said, I don't think it's going to be an experience like I've never had before, even if it wasn't my play. Like, it's something I've never experienced before. I think there's something so special about this play that is set in a place that feels very much like the place we'll get to actually watch it. And then the play, I mean, and I'm just gonna also say these actors, like they're so incredible. And the design and the direction. So like all the, you know.
I agree. Couldn't agree more. And from the director, why I'm watching it, I'm like, this sounds really interesting, but it's not in an air-conditioned theater. It's going to be like imperfect, but I'm kind of interested. Why do I want to come?
Yeah, you know, I think this is such a beautiful moment and possibility of reconnection, right? Like we are actually out of our houses now. We can be here without masks right now because of vaccination.
Yay.
So we are actually in a moment of reconnection. And what we're doing is we're re-inviting people to reconnect, to being able to like hear these stories about twins reconnecting, and also about people who are intentionally reconnecting with the earth. And in this moment where climate change, come on, like all of these things are happening, what a beautiful moment to come together to reconnect with all of those things in a way that we can like really enjoy, like thinking and understanding and crying together and like feeling together.
Yes.
Like, you know, like I've been feeling by myself with Netflix. Like, my God, I get to feel with everybody else.
Yeah.
I get to experience this with everyone else. I get to breathe the fresh air and see the lightning bugs, the natural lighting sources with everyone else underneath the stars.
Yeah.
Very much.
That's where I'm at. I love that you said that too, you know, that reconnecting in this really unique way. And, you know, that's one of the gifts of reconnecting and the world right now is that it makes you think outside the box. And I think the unpredictability of that experience is only enhances it because we're experiencing it together, which is what we've longed for. There's plenty of time to go back into the theater. The real. All right, here's the game.
Okay.
It's really quick. It's called Two Truths and a Lie.
Oh.
And it's about the 4th of July theme. Now, Walden, obviously, your play, shares a title with Thoreau's book of the same name. Some of you may know that Thoreau began the book while staying at Walden Pond, a property loaned to him by his friend, Ralph Waldo Emerson, and he moved in on July 4th, 1845. So we grabbed on, so in honor of Thoreau's move-in date to Walden, the 4th of July, pick which answer is the lie in these list of things. And it's all about July 4th. So here's the first question. I'm going to say 3 things. One of them is a lie. The Declaration of Independence was signed on July 4th, 1776. The oldest annual 4th of July celebration is held in Bristol, Rhode Island. 3, Massachusetts was first to recognize July 4th as a holiday. Which one is the lie?
Hold on.
The Declaration was signed on July 4th. The oldest 4th of July celebration is in Bristol, Rhode Island. Massachusetts was the first to recognize July 4th as a holiday. Oh, you're muted. Oh, you're muted.
Yes, we did it on purpose. Sorry.
Oh.
We are confab.
Yeah.
Confabbing.
Yeah.
I also, like, viewers, if you want to give us a clue.
Oh, no.
Let's see. Who's there? Are you going to tell third one? Third one.
That's
Oh,
what
that
we
was
were
you.
gonna
That's
say.
what you said. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what you
that's
said.
what I said.
The
Third.
lie is the Declaration was signed on July 4th, 1776. What? And having done 1776, I'm like, they're going to know this. But basically, the resolution was legally signed 2 days earlier on July 2nd.
Oh, all right. Cool.
The other
all right.
two are true.
Well.
All right, question 2. 3 things, 2 truths and 1 lie. 1 U.S. president died on July 4th. Number 2, 1 president died after a July 4th party. C, 1 president was born on the 4th of July. So 1 president died on the 4th of July. 1 president died after a 4th of July party. 1 president was born on the 4th of July.
I'm gonna go with the first one. Is the lie? I don't know.
Diane?
I'm shooting in the dark.
I'm gonna go with the third one.
The born one?
Uh-huh.
Amy is correct. The lie is
Hey!
a president died on the 4th of July.
Yeah, that was my
Somebody did die after a 4th of July party, and somebody was born on the 4th of July.
Wow.
And the actuality is, just from Eric here, actually 3 presidents have died on the 4th of July, FYI. Interesting, right? All right, question 3, we're getting close to our time. The majority of fireworks injuries occur on the 4th of July. 2, Washington, D.C. has the biggest 4th of July fireworks display. C, fireworks flew at the first 4th celebration. So this is the fireworks question. The majority of fireworks injuries occur on the 4th of July. 2, DC, Washington has the America's biggest 4th of July fireworks display. C, fireworks flew at the first celebration. Which is the lie?
I wonder, is it like that DC is the biggest in the world? No. What, like it's the biggest?
It says the statement is America's biggest.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's 2.
I think it's the second one also.
Yeah.
You are both correct. That is
Yay!
a lie. Because you're both New Yorkers. I don't know. Let me see. He probably has it in here. Macy's 4th of July is believed to be the biggest. I figured. That's what I figured, yeah.
There were a lot here in Hartford.
I was like, yeah, there were. I was thinking about like, I wonder if New Year's has more injuries or something like that. Because people are really drunk.
Yeah, but people are also dumb.
Are you up for just one more? It's fun, right?
Do it.
Yeah, do it.
Up for one more. The first official version of the flag was adopted in 1777.
Of the what?
The first official version of the flag was adopted in 1777. There have been, number 2, there have been 27 different official versions of the U.S. flag, 27 different versions over time. And 3, the flag code states that the flag must be destroyed if it touches the ground. So
I think 3.
Yeah, me too.
You are both correct.
Oh, okay.
Did really good.
Yay.
I know your days are busy. You're heading off now to the site.
Shortly, yeah, in a little while.
Shortly, and I know you have like a run or something today. I am going to swing by before to say hello and just see how you're all doing. So that I'm excited. I haven't been for a week or so, a week and a half, so I haven't seen the progress of all that's there. So,
great.
And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I really only met the cast virtually. So
that's true.
So because
That'll be really
the equity rules changed as you were in rehearsal about how we can do that. I do want to tell everybody that we're working safely. It's a fully vaccinated work site. There's a lot of union parameters that make sure everybody's safe, and it's a good elevation. I mean, I want to say, watching the news, I'm not one to preach, but getting vaccinated, unless you really can't, is something that I think is going to help us all. So I appeal to you, those of you who might be hesitant when you're watching the news shift now, is I'm so grateful I am vaccinated. I feel safe, and I feel like my family and friends around me are safer. So I be brave, step forward. I think the greater good is bigger than the concern. So thank you both for joining me and for doing this amazing work. And I'm so happy. I want to also shout out to the cast and the creatives and the TheaterWorks Hartford staff that have been working amidst all kinds of physical obstacles to create something really special. I know I'm speaking for you two as well as me, and a lot of us, how grateful we are for that work.
Yes.
1,000%
Thank
in
you.
agreement, Rob. This is
Yes.
it's like the team is just really
The
incredible.
team is so incredible. Yeah.
It's been great having two people on Get Sauce. Get Sauce first. I love that you have become friends and that theater brings people together. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Thanks for being at Get Sauce, and we'll see you together
See you later.
at Walden.
Yeah.
Bye bye.